All right, today we're talking about passive income, which is everyone's favorite thing to say, but a lot of people completely over glamorize the idea of passive income. So today we're going to talk about what passive income actually is and how to transform your active income into a passive income stream. My name is Madison, and on this channel, I love to share my journey of working on gig apps and how I'm using that to build wealth and also include some money tips along the way. So if those things interest you, you should definitely like the video and subscribe, and I hope you stick around. First, before we get into how I'm turning an active income stream into a passive one, first we need to just do a quick review of active income versus passive income. So the biggest thing about active income is active income stops earning when you stop working. So this is most people's income. So this is a salary from your job or an hourly pay that you might get. You are set at a certain rate per hour, and that's how much you earn when you work those amount of hours for a company. So this is how most people earn money, and it correlates your time to the amount of money that you can actually earn, which means that you are capped out at a certain level, which is often very small compared to what you could actually earn if it was passive, because passive income you could earn in your sleep, or active income you have to actively be working to earn the money, hence why it's called active income. And the best way to think about passive income is not directly tied to the hours that you work. So there are levels to passive income, and a lot of people do like to say things that are passive income include things like real estate investing, for example, which would be buying a property purely to either renovate it or just go straight to renting it out. Now, this is an example of what I would not call a passive income stream, but something that is just not simply tied to the hours you work. So a lot of people tend to group it under this category when really it requires lots of active time management to run it. Something similar would be owning a business. This is something that can appreciate over time and that you don't need to be actively working in to earn money. However, depending on how involved you are, you're still going to be needing to put your time and energy into it and not do nothing for the money. Those are types of passive income streams that fall under the category simply because they are not tied to the amount of hours that you're working. However, they don't fall into the second category of passive income, which is truly passive in the sense that you don't need to be working on them to generate money, which everyone, of course, wants these because these are the actual ways that you can make money literally without doing anything, just letting the money collect literally as you sleep. The only type of income that is truly passive are dividends earned from owning stocks or interest that you may earn on all types of savings. And these are the ways to actually earn passive income by doing virtually nothing. And these are the ones that we're going to be talking about today. So currently, I am taking advantage of both of these types of passive income streams, both dividends from owning stocks and interest that I'm earning from a high yield savings account. So first, let's start with the dividends aspect. So a dividend is basically just a company sharing a piece of their profit with you as a shareholder, as someone who owns a portion of their stock. So even if you own a very small portion, you will earn a certain amount just from owning that stock. So this is also why stocks are so powerful, because not only can they appreciate in value over time, but you can also earn a set amount of income every month from these stocks. Different dividend paying stocks will pay on different schedules, but the most important thing is that you're earning money from just owning these stocks. I did go back and add all of these up over the past year. If you've seen one of my recent videos, I did discuss how much I earned from doing gig work in 1 year. So this was not one tax year, but one full calendar year, since I just recently hit my 1 year anniversary of doing gig work. So I did go back and total up all of my earnings, and I did put all of those details. So if you're interested in seeing that video, then I will link it below. And I show all of my earnings over 1 year, the expenses, the taxes, everything like that. And I go into detail. I did go back and add up how much I've made in dividend income over the past year. So only since I started doing gig work. And I do have two different accounts. So I do have a brokerage account and a Roth IRA. I also do have a 401k, but it has a pretty small balance right now, and I'm actually just now increasing my contribution on that. So I didn't add that one in here because it's so minimal for now. My brokerage account, which is the one that I do have more money in, my dividends were at $1,470.53. So that's over just 1 year of doing gig work. That's how much I've made in dividends. And then in my Roth IRA, I made $753.92 in dividend income. So that brings our total to $2,224.45 that I earned by doing literally nothing. And also, this money was reinvested. So you have two options when you get paid out dividends. You can either reinvest them to buy more stock, or you can cash them out and use them as earnings. And I would highly recommend reinvesting your dividends. Of course, do your own research, and everyone's situation is different, so it depends on what your goals are. But for the most part, I would strongly advise to reinvest your dividends, because now you can just buy more stock and own a larger portion of whatever company that you're purchasing. And then you will generate more dividends in the future, because the more you own, the more you'll get paid, because dividends are percentage based. So I will put a little example in here. And at least when you're using Robinhood, which is the app that I use, you can see the dividend yield of whatever stock you're looking at, and they are all listed in percentages. So you can quickly multiply how much you would get paid for owning that stock depending on how many shares you buy. Looking back, I was able to earn over $2,000 in 1 year from just dividend income, and that was purely off of investing my gig work earnings. So I'm pretty happy with that, and they're only getting larger. So this again was looking back over 1 year. So because your portfolio will tend to grow over time, this is just the amount of money that it generates at that time. And then as your portfolio grows, your dividend earnings will also grow. I went back and did the math, and my current dividends are sitting at $200 to $250 per month right now. So at that rate, I'm tracking close to about $2,700 per year in passive income. So as you can see, that has increased since I went back and did the math over the past year, because my portfolio is growing. So then that dividend income is also increasing. So to make $200 to $250 a month by literally doing nothing is pretty awesome. Again, you can either choose to live off this. So if you want to pull those out of your account and just have another $250 a month to spend on whatever you want that you generated from doing nothing, then you can do that. Or you can just reinvest those, which is what I do. So I just use that money every month to buy more stock. So I'm going to do a quick exercise here. So even if I start out with $0 and I leave it in the market for 15 years, at a 7% rate, which is adjusted for inflation, even if I just take the money I'm currently making now off dividends every month, which is on average $225, even if I just take that, my portfolio would grow to almost $70,000. And this is if I was starting with zero and I only reinvested that money I'm already passively earning every month from doing nothing, which is right now at $225 per month. So that's how powerful this can be. So that's where my dividends are currently sitting at right now. And the second type of passive income that I'm taking advantage of is just interest earned on a savings account. So this is very important. You want to open a high yield savings account. Do not bother having a savings account at a regular bank, because you'll literally earn like 0.01% or something. I don't even know what it is because it's so low. So any money that you have left over, you don't want to leave that money in your checking account, because it's literally just losing money, and it'll tempt you to just spend the money that's sitting in your checking account. I want to move this money to a high yield savings account. I have one with American Express, but there's also plenty others out there. I've heard a lot of great things about SoFi and about Ally. So I can put links to those in the description, because it honestly doesn't matter that much which one you pick. You just want to pick one of those and sign up for it. So I've only had my high yield savings account for a little bit over a year now, and lifetime, I believe it's generated about $500 in completely passive income. And at my current rate and current balance, right now, my account is yielding about $40 a month in completely passive income. So that is just paid to me in my account. They automatically deposit that to your high yield savings account. And again, you can leave it to sit in the account, which is what I would recommend. So you're just adding money to your savings without even having to transfer it, or you could always pull it out if you do want to take that for whatever reason, maybe get a treat for yourself. So especially with the high yield savings account, this number is not nearly as substantial of a monthly amount, but it has slowly built over time. And I think a lot of people will get discouraged because they hear numbers maybe like these, because I'm not someone who has multiple six figures invested or anything crazy. So I think this is a little bit more of a relatable example where other people might come on here who are a lot further along in their financial journey or have more money. And they might be generating, thousands of dollars a month in dividend income and high yield savings interest. That's a little bit harder to relate to, especially if you're kind of like more of a beginner or like trying to build your net worth. So I think my numbers kind of show you a little bit more of a realistic scope of what you can look at. And I think a lot of people will get discouraged even by just seeing these numbers and thinking, oh, like that's nothing, like that adds up to close to $300 a month in passive income. It's like, oh, $300 a month, what's that going to do for me? But what I want to reiterate is if you're used to thinking about income only in active terms, which most people are, when you hear me say $300 a month in extra income, your brain is likely automatically going to, oh, that's not that much. That's money that I'm earning that I have to work to earn. Because if that's all that you're making money off right now, it's the only thing your mind has to like connect to that number, right? So you can think 300 extra a month isn't really going to do that much for me, but you have to remember that you're not doing literally anything to earn this money. So when you think of it like that, it literally feels like free money. At least it does to me. That is a substantial amount of free money to have just put into your account for just having a savings and or owning pieces of companies. That's what I was able to build up thus far. And this is just over 1 year of gig work and the amount I've been able to save and invest. And so not only do I have those amounts in savings and investments, but am also generating income off of it. This is how you turn an active stream of income into a passive one. Doing gig work, just like most other things, is a very active income source. You have to work or you don't get paid. But if you're using the money that you're actively working for to funnel into something passive, then you can build something really powerful. And this is how normal people get rich. This is how normal people build wealth. And it is possible to do this without owning a business or being a huge social media influencer or, being a Nepo baby or having, a lot of privilege. This is how the average person, like the next door neighbor, builds a $1 million net worth. Is they're just being strategic and they're funneling their active income constantly into a passive income generator. And this is one of the ways that you can do it. If you're just able to buckle down and every month something that you would buy for yourself, instead funneling that into buying a stock where you're buying ownership of something that's going to appreciate in value and literally pay you money for owning it, that is the mindset switch that you have to make, where you're not buying a physical item that's, coming to you in the mail and you're receiving something. But if you're buying something on your phone that is a literal asset that you can hold on to, that's how you're going to get to building those big numbers by still being a normal person, in the sense of you're still working for an active income stream, but you're turning it into a passive one. There are tons of ways to do this. I'm just speaking from my own experience. So this is how I have been doing gig work and funneling that into something that generates me passive income. And even if you're someone who doesn't do gig work, I would encourage you to take whatever money that you're working from whatever active income stream you have, whether you get paid by the hour or you're a salary employee. Take a portion of this money and funnel it into buying stocks and putting it into a high yield savings account. And you can build your very own passive income stream. And before you know it, you'll be making a few $100s a month by literally doing nothing. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it gave you some new information or maybe just some motivation to open that high yield savings account finally, start funding it, open that investing account you just have thought about doing and haven't done yet, because you don't want to spend a single another day wasting any potential free money that you could be making. I'll put the links below to some great high yield savings accounts. And if you want to sign up for Robinhood, I'll put that in the link below too. That's just the platform that I use for my investments. You don't have to use it. For watching this video, and if you liked it, I would appreciate a thumbs up for the algorithm. And if you want to see more videos about money tips and watching me through my gig work journey and how I'm trying to build wealth from gig work, definitely subscribe and see more videos just like this one. And hopefully I will see you in my next video.